The third rule to remember: learn how to use mental instead of physical approaches to both training and punishing your dog. Never hit your dog with a newspaper or threaten him by raising your arm or voice. I know you're going to ask, why not? How can you possibly hurt your dog with a newspaper, a voice, or a raised arm? If you're speaking about physical harm, there is none. But if you are talking about mental harm, then I would rather see a dog hit with a baseball bat. Both the dog and society would suffer less. How many people would rather suffer a slap in the face than have their integrity, pride, or name dragged in the mud? It is the far-reaching and more damaging repercussions of the unseen mental and physical reflexes which we must worry about rather than the visual harm to the dog. Here are 3 answers given to me by 3 different dog owners when I quizzed them about hitting with a newspaper. Oh, I don't have to hit Skipper with a paper anymore. The moment I raise my arm, he rolls over on his back. And the second said, I don't have to do anything other than look in the direction of that rolled-up paper which I keep on the counter, and she runs under the table. The third replied, I just call her name now, and she scurries into her basket. She knows she did something wrong. In answer, I must say that each of the 3 dogs is a prime candidate to bite someone. Second, I doubt whether any of the 3 owners knew why their dogs acted like they did other than out of respect for that rolled-up piece of paper, or for the voice or the gesture. They must learn that along with respect, the dogs had learned fear and the hate of the object, the movement, and the tone and the expression that went with it. Most people will say, well, I've been punishing my dog that way for years. My previous dog as well, and they've never bit anyone. I once heard a man brag about the fact he'd gone through 4 red lights and had never been hit. It was the 5th one that got him. If you're going on the past, don't be surprised if tomorrow you are one of the hundreds who are saying, I can't understand it. My dog never bit anybody before. Not all dogs bite. As a matter of fact, the biter is in a small minority. But the fact that he is in that minority is purely accidental and not intentional. I say accidental because the dog I'm talking about bites from a subconscious state. To accomplish this, several factors must gel simultaneously. The dog could be asleep or awake in any position. What counts is that at the exact moment a physical movement occurs within his immediate area, and his subconscious thoughts are on being hit, he'll run and bite and not wake up until he has established contact. Upon contact, he becomes aware of what he did. This is why the person bitten suffers only as many wounds as a dog has teeth. Most of the damage is done when the arm or leg is pulled from the dog's mouth. The dog is embarrassed, but since he can't talk, he's accused of turning. I've never known a dog to turn, even though there have been many with sufficient reason to do so. The end result always reflected the type of punishment and a combination of the subconscious mental and rapid physical reflexes of the dog in question. It is natural for you to ask, well, if you don't hit with a newspaper or apply the other usual forms of punishment, what do you do? First, I want to stress the fact, and fact it is, that if you bring your dog up by the 10 basic rules and the 5 fundamental sounds, there should be little need for any type of physical punishment, because the educated dog is a well-disciplined dog. But supposing that a dog stepped across the line and had to be punished, first you must be positive that the dog knows why he's being punished. Then grasp him by the loose skin on either side of the face, but below the ears. The grasp should not be at any point where ligaments or muscles are joined to the bone. The dog is not to be shaken, since we are speaking of physical containment, not physical harm. The dog must be held in this manner for a minimum of 15 minutes. All the while you keep talking to him, not shouting, just saturation talking. You can say anything you want, even if your dog doesn't know the words. But keep talking and make sure your dog is constantly looking at you. Holding the dog in this manner for 15 minutes appears to be the minimum time it takes for this method to do the job. Don't try to hold him for only 2, 5, or 10 minutes. I can tell you it will probably fail. As provocative as some of the steps are which I recommend, don't try to use your own variations. The day you can give me proof that you are right is the day I'll switch and try your system. The secret is to catch your dog doing the same misdeed 3 times in succession. Timing must be stressed, because without it, you can completely confuse the dog and yourself. The dog that is brought up by taxing of the mind will normally school himself to good behavior. I have had to punish only 1 dog in the past 11 years. But in the 15 years prior, it seemed that every time I turned around, I was punishing with one method or another. No timing, no purpose, hence failure. A dog's behavior is always a direct result of the proper effort extended by the owner.